bark. I hope not. All right. Well, let's get started. Welcome, financial counselors. Today, we are diving into the future with AI in presentations with Lindsay Slattery. Picture this. An algorithm walks into a bar, orders a bite, that's a B-Y-T-E bite, and asks the bartender for some change. Why? Because it's here to revolutionize your financial presentations. Let's embrace the power of AI and let the learning begin. Lindsay, I'm ready to turn it over to you. Well, thank you, little animated monkey. Fun fact, I made that with AI yesterday. So just a little example of some of the things that you can do with some of these tools. My name is Lindsay Slattery. I am a newly minted AFC as of last year, the end of last year, and my background in marketing has made this bridge to teaching you guys about AI and presentation skills and better educating our clients, just really kind of a good fit. So I am super excited to share with you, and I hope everybody is excited to be here. So if you have questions during the presentation, feel free to drop them in the chat. Andy's going to help me moderate that, and definitely would love to have you guys be as interactive as possible when I'm asking for feedback, okay? So here's your task to start off with. Job first thing Saturday morning. Get the nails into the wood as quickly as possible. What tool do you choose? I'll give you 10, 15 seconds. Drop it in the chat. Tell me what you're thinking. What are you using? Hammer, hammer, hammer. So many hammers. A giant hammer. Okay, I can dig it. Rufino's using a rock. Fantastic.
That's like my sledgehammer, that giant hammer. That's what I think of.
I know. I love it. Okay. So now, Rufino, you're like this dude, right? What would he choose? What do you, okay, you can stop. I see lots of things now. So, oh, shoot. I love that. I love that we're getting creative. Okay. So what about this guy? He's going to use like a rock, right? Or this pretend hammer that he's developing from a rock, right? Now, what about if we told this guy that there was a time in the future when all you would need was a gun plugged into the wall and you wouldn't even have to use any manpower to get it into the wood, right? He might be shocked. He might tell us that that's cheating. Yeah. A few of you did choose rocks even before we went into the caveman analogy, but not very many of you. Most people chose a hammer because that's the most prevalent tool. So if I told you you had to give a presentation, most people are going to say they're going to use PowerPoint. Am I right? Thumbs up? Yeah? How many of you would think, hey, I should maybe reference using some generative AI to make this job a little bit easier? Anybody? Thumbs up? Thumbs down? Would anybody think of that? It's still relatively new technology. Okay, I'm getting some yeses. I'm getting some old schools. Lots of no's, lots of no's. Okay, fantastic. So hopefully I'm going to change your mind. And I'm going to teach you how to go from being the caveman using a rock to being the construction worker using a nail gun. Okay? I see lots of people saying they've used some ChatGPT. I love that. It's a great tool. So we're going to go through a very brief history of AI because it is still relatively new technology, right? It's only been really prevalent for about 1.5 years. We're going to talk about some of the most common options, and then we're going to talk about how you can use it. Oh, Heather, I see you haven't had good results. I'm going to teach you about that. We're going to talk about how to use that effectively, okay? So let's take a step back from AI and let's just talk about presentations, okay? As financial counselors, we often find ourselves in the role of educator. Like it's in our DNA. And so at some level, this means that we're constantly presenting, either individually or in groups. And while this presentation is geared more for using AI in larger groups, a lot of this information could easily be scaled for smaller presentations. So I am assuming that everyone here has at some point in their life created and delivered a presentation in school for your job or in front of clients. And for some of us, we love it, okay? We thrive on it. We enjoy it. And then for others, it's literally like clawing out your eyeballs. Yeah. So let's talk about who is using presentations. Okay. In whichever audience, big, small, one-on-one, larger groups, what are your biggest hurdles or challenges when it comes to presenting? If maybe one or two people want to raise their hand and share, or if you just want to drop in the chat, that works for me. What are your biggest hurdles or challenges when it comes to presenting?
Ooh,
How
I
to
like
keep
that.
it engaging? Yes, making slides interesting, not too many words. Love it. Lots of engaging. Fear of
Coming up
speaking.
with your original outline and order.
Yes. Okay. Coming out like just a basic outline, gathering content, knowing the audience.
So I think today I want to do something different. Not good.
And I think somebody unmuted on accident. Maybe. Okay.
Gotcha.
Eye contact, accommodating various learning styles, more interesting for audiences. These are awesome. Okay. And of all of those answers, probably 95% of them could be assisted in using AI. Mind blown. Okay. Mind blown. Staying within changing time restrictions. Oh, that's a tough one. That's all about getting to the important stuff, isn't it, Stephen? This is your challenges are indicative of every presentation. And there are so many new AI tools that we can utilize moving forward that are going to make your presentations so much better and so much easier. Okay. I'm super excited about this. Y'all, the fun fact about AI is that it is changing so fast, and there are so many things that are just coming into existence that were never even there before. So if we talk about AI, that refers to artificial intelligence. I think most of you probably knew that. But it also refers to the simulation of human intelligence in machines to perform tasks that typically and in the past have required human intelligence. So this is generative AI, such as problem solving, understanding natural language, and making decisions. ChatGPT is probably one of the best known, most widely known, but it is definitely not the only option out there at this point. Let's talk about recent innovations and the history of ChatGPT, okay? At the end of 2002, so barely over a year ago, ChatGPT 3.5 was released by OpenAI as part of a free research preview, okay? Many of us probably didn't hear about it because many of us, I feel, especially after seeing your chat responses, who's using it, who's not, we're not in the tech space, right? We're out helping clients. We're trying to figure out the best way we can help them get out of debt and do those kind of things. We're not following this tech stuff. But it quickly garnered 100 million users faster than both TikTok and Instagram. And by spring of 2023, numerous other platforms had followed suit, and OpenAI launched GPT 4.0, which is their paid option. By May of 2023, 59% of adults knew about ChatGPT, but only 14% had tried it, according to Pew Research Center. And by July, that number had risen to 18%. So the adaptation of this technology has been so fast. The estimates for when general artificial intelligence or super intelligent AI will arrive has decreased from 80 years to less than 8 years over the past 4 years. Okay, so that is how quick this technology is accelerating. If you do not start learning how to utilize it, you are going to be left in the dust. So while all of this sounds like some Jetsons, like type futuristic crazy, every time I hear AI, all I can think about is like Ruby the robot, you know, like cooking the Jetsons meals and stuff. I don't know if anyone else feels like that, but it just seems like it's something kind of far-fetched, but it's not. And when it is used properly, it can be a really valuable tool for streamlining so many processes in our day-to-day activities. And then also, I feel like it's such a good fit with creating presentations, and that's why that's our focus today. So what are the benefits of using AI? With ChatGPT's content generation ability, it can improve your efficiency. It can help you with idea exploration and brainstorming, making engaging visuals, and then also just making sure that everything is locked in tight and make it easy to create and make sure that it is linguistically correct. So how many of you, when you have to put together a presentation, like to brainstorm with friends? Like, are you group people? Do you like to work in groups, or are you more individual people? Yes, I'm seeing some yes. One yes. Thank you, Rachel. Individual. Okay. Individual depends on the project. Okay. What about if you just want to bounce some ideas off?
That's me.
Not necessarily work, because I'm with you on I'd rather work by myself, but I love getting feedback from people who are relevant and educated on the topic. Okay, we're not talking about, yeah, bounce ideas, yes. Okay, now what if I told you that you could have a qualified group of assistants anytime you want to brainstorm? Would that sound appealing to you? And you don't even have to give them your feedback. Yes. Okay. So with ChatGPT, well, don't worry, I'm not a gatekeeper. I'm here to tell you. Okay. With ChatGPT, you've got a group or a feedback person. And as long as you're prompting correctly, which we will get to, you're going to have someone that is an expert in whatever area you want to explore. And you can ask them questions and get their feedback. You can also ask them to create 20 different options for you or 20 different ideas, and then you get to take it to the next level. Okay, so exciting. So let's say you got a presentation and you want to use ChatGPT. Okay, people are saying how. Let me just tell you. We're going to start off by determining what you're going to talk about. So we can use ChatGPT for that if we want to, and the powers in the prompt. We will get to that. We also need to know our audience, how long your presentation is. Obviously, a presentation is going to be different if it's 5 minutes versus 25 minutes versus an hour. For instance, if this were an hour-long presentation, I would 100% pop over into ChatGPT and show you guys how to do this like live. Unfortunately, Andy only gave me 25 minutes. So you're just going to have to learn and then go explore on your own. Okay. So once we kind of figure out what we're doing, we can use ChatGPT as a brainstorming buddy. From there, we're going to identify key insights and information that we want to include, because obviously we're experts in our field and we know what we kind of want the presentation to be about, but we may need some help refining those plans. And then we're going to generate our initial content or first draft with ChatGPT. So what does that look like? The power is in the prompt. So when you open ChatGPT, and I just use 3.5, which is free, and I think Sev commented earlier that you could do a lot of stuff with the free version, which is 100% true. I have not paid for GPT-4. I use GPT 3.5. So with this, you're going to start the conversation. This top left corner of your screen is what the window looks like. You're going to start the conversation by telling ChatGPT who it is, right? So if I wanted it to be a client who knows nothing about it and is asking questions, I could say that. But if I want him to give me some information, I refer to it as a he. You can refer to it as a she if you'd like. You're an expert in financial counseling. Write an outline for a PowerPoint presentation covering the following topics. So for this example, you can see in the bottom left corner, write an outline following reducing your debt by enrolling with a debt settlement agency. Okay. And then I included some information that I wanted to make sure that GPT included, right? And then I told it how long I wanted it to be. So once we have that basic outline, and ChatGPT does this, how long would it take y'all to do this outline? I mean, if it were me, it would be like at least 45 minutes, right? To come up with what I wanted to do and then organize the slides. It's at least 45 minutes to an hour. And that's not even getting into what I want to present. So then we asked GPT to expand. So let's say if you look at the first slide, reducing your debt settlement agencies, subtitle, comprehensive guide, introduction to the topic and purpose of the presentation. So let's say I wanted more information on what the intro was going to be. All I have to do is ask them to expand because it's a conversation. GPT is going to actually remember what they did and what they said within that conversation, and then go from there. So we can have it tell you more or tell you less, which is awesome. And then we move on from there. Okay. So as I mentioned, the power is in the prompt. And there are tons of resources out there with prompting technology. I think somebody mentioned that they weren't getting good feedback or good output from GPT and what they've used before. And most likely it's because your questions weren't defined enough. It's kind of like asking a toddler what they want for lunch, in which case maybe they say ice cream or chocolate cake or chicken nuggets or McDonald's. Or saying, okay, Tommy, 2-year-old, would you like carrots or apples with your peanut butter sandwich? In which case you're going to get a refined answer. Okay. GPT is very much like a toddler. So, yes, we'll have all the end. Oh, okay. Somebody's asking Andy questions. So this cheat sheet is one that was recently sent to me from superhuman.ai. It's a great free tool that they send out a daily newsletter with updates in AI and what's happening. It's all very relevant, it's very short, and it's very free. I will drop links for some of these things in the chat at the end, okay? If anybody needed that. Okay, so what else can GPT do? Okay, yes, we know it can make us an outline. Lindsay just showed us that. These are just some of the things that GPT can do based on the OpenAI platform where they're talking about prompt engineering, okay? We could actually have it write us a rap battle. How fun would that be, okay? You can also use it to write lesson plans or turn-by-turn directions or create mood to color. There are so many things that GPT can do, which is super fun. Okay, so now back to our presentation. I get a little distracted at all of the things that GPT can do and AI. So when we're creating the presentation, we are refining and editing based on that initial outline. And then we're going to use our current knowledge base to source information extra for that. Then we can either use something like PowerPoint, or there are actually AI presentation options now. Beautiful AI is one that I have used where it will actually plug it in and make your slides for you. So for anyone that is struggling to make their slides pretty or engaging, using something like a beautiful AI or any AI-based presentation creation may be a good idea. Takes the work out of it. Figure out what your strengths are and then use GPT to build up your weaknesses, yeah? And then we've got to practice your presentation. Obviously, even if I had all this great information, if I came up here and basically just stuttered through the presentation or read my slides to you or wasn't engaging, obviously y'all would tune off. And because it's a video chat and you don't even have to have your video on, you may just walk away, right? And not really care. So we want to make sure that when we're presenting that we're giving the information in a way that is engaging and that our speech and the way that we're speaking is very much as if we were having a conversation with friends.
Lindsay,
Yes.
which one did you use for your beginning?
So I actually used an Adobe product, and I'm gonna have all the references for everything that I did there, but I did have ChatGPT write the script for me. And it came up with that really bad joke. So, but okay. it was an Adobe. I think it's a character animator. Okay. I've never used it before, but I have the Adobe suite. So I downloaded that. But I promise I will give you guys all of the references and tools that I've used in creating this at the end. Okay, so now we've got our presentation, right? How else can we utilize AI? The field is growing so quickly that it's hard to keep up. I actually created this presentation back in November, And when I came back to it, I had to go in and add like 4 other things that we can use in a ways that we can utilize AI as smart tools in doing this to really drastically improve presentations. And that's just presentations. So in the past, creating presentations for diverse international audiences with language and cultural differences was time consuming and possibly even prohibitive for smaller groups that would lack major translation resources. AI can assist in translating and localizing presentations. Google Translate is one option that many are familiar with. It still needs a little bit of work. When I talk to my Spanish speaking friends, it's not exact, but there are paid options that do get much better reviews as far as the content localization. Then we've also got accessibility, right? If I'm giving a video chat and I'm talking and closed captioning isn't turned on, someone that's hard of hearing may struggle. So there are actually numerous options to assist with this. One that I found and really liked is ava.me. And it is a free app. There's also a paid version, in which case, if we all use this QR code and had scanned it at the beginning of the presentation, you guys could actually see everything that I was saying real time in captioning on your personal devices. So that's one that I think really could be explored more, especially if you're working in spaces where accessibility and hearing is a challenge. And then many of you talked about how giving presentations was really traumatizing for you, right? It's a fear. And improving our public speaking skills, including pace, tone, and clarity, has actually never been easier. One, you could take Andy's presentation class. Shameless plug for Andy, love her. But if you can't do that, there are some AI solutions that are coming out that are really, really good. One that I found that I really liked was the Ori app, and it uses AI to analyze your voice and provide feedback on your speaking patterns to help refine your presentation delivery. There are standalone options, and then like at the app Ori, and then there's also built-in options. In case you weren't familiar, PowerPoint has a free presenter coach that I would highly recommend you use if you're nervous or struggle with presenting. So tips for implementation: know your audience. That's huge. Okay, knowing who you're presenting for and the point of your presentation. Focus on your clarity. Make sure you're not making errors, and utilize tools and visuals that support and don't detract from your message. Also, I cannot say it strongly enough, do not rely solely on AI. Again, with the toddler reference, y'all, AI is an awesome tool. It is fantastic. It is so magnificent for really kind of cutting your time down on a lot of these problems. However, it is still very much in the toddler stage. So if you would not trust your 2-year-old to talk directly to a client, I would not recommend you rely solely on AI. So that about wraps us up here. I don't know if there are questions or comments or what our time. I think I've got 2 minutes
I tried
left.
to ask along the way, Lindsay. So,
Yeah.
but I do know that everybody's really looking forward to the resources. So,
oh, good. Okay. Well, I'll drop those in the chat so that everybody has them. If there are any questions, I did try to like keep an eye on the chat while I was presenting.
yeah, you did a good job.
But I think I might have missed some stuff. So let me drop this in the chat here.
And they said, what do you think of Canva AI?
I haven't used Canva. I coming from a marketing and a photography background, I am an Adobe girl. And so I pay monthly for the Adobe suite. So I can't really share about that. I do know that there are a lot of people who aren't trained on the Adobe suite that have been successful with Canva, but I don't know about their AI. I would have to explore more about that.